So for those of you who haven't seen it already, there's been a very interesting news article published up on the BBC News website today. For any of my viewers outside the UK, I'm sure that your local news websites and papers will have articles on this as well, so do check them out. It's to do with a deal that's just been struck between Warner Brothers, the American entertainment company, and Amazon, the online retailer, and specifically Amazon's Kindle e-reader format. What is Warner Brothers will now allow some of the properties it owns, some of the television shows, the rights it has to them. It will allow fan fiction writers that have written fan fiction of these shows it owns the rights to be published online on Kindle. It will still own the rights to its shows, but what will happen is fan fiction writers who have made these fan fictions of the shows can publish these fan fictions now on Kindle and earn a profit from them, a revenue, and also the e-reader format, and also Warner Brothers will take a share of the money as well, and Warner Brothers will also own the rights to the copyright issues to these fan fictions. So what it's basically showing a bit of flexibility towards these fan fiction authors. The shows that are covered under this, there's 3 shows. Pretty Little Liars, The Vampire Diaries. One sec, let me just double check what the last one was. The last one was Gossip Girls. Or Gossip Girl, sorry. They've mispronounced it on the BBC News website. They put another S after it. The reason this is actually quite exciting news is it's because it just shows how big an impact 50 Shades of Grey has had on the fiction, on the publishing industry, really. I mean, not just the e-reader online format, but also on publishing as a whole. I'm sure most people are aware of this already, but 50 Shades of Grey was fan fiction of Twilight. Originally, it was all published online for free. It became so ridiculously popular online that the author E.L. James was contacted by a publishing company. She then had to change some of the names and locations, etc., from the original fan fiction to make it publishable, but due to copyright, because it was the same names, the same characters, the same locations, so she had to change it. I think substantially, actually, a bit, but majority of the work remain the same. And the reason I use my finger marks is I'm not a personal fan of 50 Shades of Grey. I don't think it's hard to try and remain unbiased sometimes when I'm doing these videos, as I'm biased to the sense that I don't want to turn it into a whole opinionated piece. All I'll say is that 50 Shades of Grey, I don't think it really deserved as much recognition and success over some better written and better plotted books. But no one can deny the fact it's done ridiculously well. And the fact is, it's shown that fan fiction does deserve closer notice and recognition. And I will recognise the fact that 50 Shades of Grey has actually paved the way to allow the other fan fictions now to be published online, as we've seen here with Warner Brothers and Amazon entering into this deal. It is only for these 3 shows. In a way, I think all 3 of these shows are quite popular. One of them has now finished, Gossip Girls. The other 2 are still ongoing. It's kind of a trial by the looks of it. They want to see how these 3 shows will do, the fan fictions of them, and see how popular it is before Warner Brothers allows the rights and content for other shows and properties it owns to be used. And yeah, this is really interesting. I look forward to actually seeing whether other companies will start striking up deals with Kindle as well. We don't know all the details. We don't know if Kindle and Amazon will be allowed in its contract with Warner Brothers, whether they'll be allowed to bring in other network companies to also publish the rights for fan fiction for their shows. It could be that Warner Brothers has said, we'll give you the rights to this, and we'll have a deal, and both of us will make profits. Us, Warner Brothers, and you, Amazon, as long as you don't let other networks approach you and publish their stuff as fan fiction as well. Honestly, I have to say, but just to give it some examples, let's have a look. Just to give some examples, I was under HBO. I mean, at the moment they're doing Game of Thrones, they're doing True Blood, really popular shows that would be great to see the fan fiction of them that's done put online in recognition. Look at further, 1 second, CBS, they do crime scene investigation. They also, what was the other one? There was one other one I noticed that they did that I thought would be fantastic. Big Bang Theory. I mean, that's so popular. Such a great popular comedy. I know there's lots of people that like doing fan fiction of that. Just what other shows? I mean, if UK wise, as we have people that like writing fan fiction about our soaps here in the UK, and there will be people over in the US. I mean, the entire realm of fan fiction is just so damn popular. Just because, you know, there is loyal viewers of programs, and readers of books, and of viewers of films that just wish certain different things had happened, and someone will go away, write this alternative or this edition, and other people will get behind it. They'll read it, they'll love it. I mean, in reality, that's what 50 Shades of Grey was. It was a more X-rated alternative of Twilight, and that's why a number of people liked it. I know there is a subset of Twilight fans that weren't very pleased about it, but to many more, it was what they were looking for. I don't know what the limits of this will be. I mean, if Disney, for example, were to approach Kindle and say, we'll allow you to allow Star Wars fan fiction writers, now that they own the rights to Star Wars and LucasArts, we will now allow Star Wars fan fiction to be published on your format, there would be a literal explosion. I don't see them doing this at the moment because there's so much money they can make out of Star Wars, and potentially that might damage them, especially with the films coming up. But they own other stuff as well. I mean, I'm not sure about the deal with Marvel, whether they would allow that to happen. I'm not perhaps so much with Marvel, because Marvel's more based within the actual publishing of the comic books and things like that, whilst Star Wars is more with the movies, so it might damage Marvel a bit more if they allowed that. And just actually really quality as well. I mean, I could sit down, I could write a Big Bang fan fiction about I don't know, Sheldon actually getting together with Penny in some bizarre fantasy. But it might be absolute tripe what I would write, and no one would like it. And that's the other thing, of course, as well. This experiment with allowing fan fiction of the favourite shows to be put up, that can only succeed if they can guarantee that they have some fan fiction writers of these shows that actually can write at the end of the day. Maybe maybe Warner Brothers will actually employ a few people to write specific fictions, of the shows, and they'll put them up. I don't know. All I'm really commenting on is this fantastic news, because it just shows that it's just giving recognition to the hard work that a number of ordinary people that work normal jobs, that they still create for their outlet these fan fictions of things that they really like. It's recognizing them. It's allowing them to actually make a bit of money back off. Not a huge amount of money. You'd have to be really successful to actually make a living off this, but a bit of extra money and recognition of what they do. And it's great that the companies are recognizing that as well. And it makes, let's be honest, it makes practical business sense for them. I mean, that's, like I said before, the recognition of what 50 Shades of Grey had done is why they're taking this experiment now, to see if they can make it a viable thing to increase their profits. Love it, hate it. Like I said, it's great. It's good business sense at the end of the day. So yeah, we'll honestly have to see. The possibilities of what they could end up doing is literally anything. I look very forward to seeing what could happen. So watch this space. Hopefully I'll have more news about this great news is very soon. Um, Let me know what your comments and thoughts about it are. To be honest, do you think this is a great idea? Do you think it's viable for these companies to do this? Do you think it will backfire on them, or do you think it's just the start of every other company allowing their properties to in a way have soft copyright laws so that other people can publish various fan fictions about them? Comment below, share the video as well. Let's get people interested in talking about this. Yeah, and I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully come back with you with another great topic next time. Alright, bye.